much power. I just stood up and everybody went very quiet. I wish that happened in my house, especially at bedtime, but it doesn't. Welcome everyone to the PPMA Chairman's Lunch 2023. I'm Asma Mir. In case you're wondering who on earth are you, you can see there's a picture of me there. It's very much Instagram versus reality. But anyway, I do get up very early, which is why I don't look like that. I co-present the breakfast show on Times Radio. That means that you get up at 3 a.m. But I do go to bed at 8:30. Times Radio, if you don't know, I'm just going to do a quick plug. It's an amazing radio station that's been going for 3.5 years now, and it's fantastic. If you're fed up of the other lot, make sure you give us a listen. I'm also an author and I write a column for the Sunday Times, so that takes care of that. Now I'm really excited to welcome you to the event in this beautiful and quirky building. I used to live not that far from here, and I've never actually been inside, so it's a real treat. And if you're keen to see the rest of it, there is actually a tour scheduled, if you would like to do that. It's scheduled for 4 p.m., but I realise it's Friday, some of you have to get back quickly, so there is a condensed version of the tour at 3:30, and I wouldn't miss the opportunity if I were you. There's lunch in the Great Hall at 1:30. I've seen the menu, it's very yummy. Before that, you get to hear from Damon Hill and Alistair Campbell. There are also quite a few coffee breaks in between to let you catch up with your colleagues and make new contacts, but there will be a bell that rings to tell you to come back up here to hear the next bit, so make sure you listen out for that. But before all of that, there is some very important and very exciting business to attend to. And I'm sure you all know that back in 1987, the Processing and Packaging Machinery Association, the PPMA, was born out of 8 founder member companies. Now, they were not satisfied with the industrial exhibitions that were available to them at the time, and they wanted to change things. They wanted to create a leading trade show for machinery suppliers. So that's how the PPMA came to be. For the next 2 years, the association saw a lot of growth, culminating in the launch of the first PPMA show in 1988 and the merger with the UK Manufacturers Association at PEMA in 1989. Now, as the association grew, it started to look outside its traditional technologies to welcome BARA, the British Automation and Robotics Association, and UKIVA, the UK Industrial Vision Association, to form the PPMA group of associates. You all know this so far, but wait. Today, the PPMA group represents almost 600 members with a combined turnover of £7 billion and around 30,000 people. It has become the voice of the processing, packaging, robotics, and industrial vision industries in the UK. Now, I think it's fair to say that today's business environment is changing, it is unsettled, it is busy, and our members continue to rely on the PPMA for support, information, and guidance. But we have to make sure that all organisations remain relevant to its members and wider stakeholders. And so today, it is launching its new brand, Automate UK.
Excellent.
We are Automate UK, the leading trade association for automation suppliers and end users of technology across processing, packaging, robotics, and machine vision. We bring together a wide synergy of experience, expertise, and influence to become your go-to partner, driving the progress of automation and vision technologies, supporting the growth of our member companies, helping our members and end users make better technology decisions to shape the future of automation within the UK and beyond, ensuring that machinery and automation technology are always at the heart of a thriving UK manufacturing industry. We're inspired by innovation, excited by opportunity, and passionate about the difference our industry makes. Together, we are automating the future. Join today.
Now, I'm sure you have lots of questions and there will be an opportunity to ask those questions. But first, we're going to hear, well, in a minute, we're going to hear from Peter Williamson, the CEO. But before that, let's welcome to the stage the chairman, James Cosbrook.
So, good morning to everybody here at the Charterhouse and everybody watching online, and welcome to Automate UK. Why make the change to Automate UK? When you go back to the basics, the fundamental requirement of a trade association is to be the loudest and most direct voice it can be to promote the services of its members and the benefits and the growth of the industry it represents and operates in. This is never truer than in our three specialist associations, which represent the technology used across all parts of the production line, basically automating every element of a line. Our current, now past name, overall name, did not communicate this in any way. We had a confused setup, which meant that external parties, importantly including end users, struggled to engage with us. Personally, a year into doing this, I found it often very challenging to try and re-engage people on what we want to achieve for our membership after I have bored them at the start of a conversation with the meaning of a four-letter acronym and then in a panic explained that we do robots and vision as well. I appreciate I have many ways that I bore people, but that's just been my latest one the last year. The PPMA being part of the PPMA group of associations also makes no sense. So why not change our name to something that instantly communicates what every single member does? Importantly, it also allows us ways to promote the services of traditional PPMA members that we are so proud to have in a more focused way, because we can rightfully make processing and packaging machinery its own specialist subject within the organisation. Also, I think, to be frank, in 2023, with all the great innovation that is going on in our industry by every single member in many different ways, it's appropriate that we have a name that acts as a vehicle to communicate quite how creative and cutting edge we are, and we walk away from the accusation of being a talking shop of crusty engineers. Our new name will make our group of associations more cohesive, but will give us a much stronger voice to all stakeholders, from customers to politicians to other trade associations, etc., etc. But why is that important? The need for the United Kingdom to adopt automation has never been higher, and we as a nation must finally deal with the problem that whilst we remain one of the most technically creative countries in the world, our adoption of automation is the lowest of any developed nation by some margin. This problem has existed since the 1970s and must be dealt with. Automate UK can really play a leading role in this story by promoting how easy automation is to adopt, and crucially that there are different tiers of automation for different needs. However, our work in the outside world will and needs to become more outreaching than this. As well as developing new opportunities for our members, we also need to work collaboratively with stakeholders around us, including. We will do more work with political parties and think tanks so we can try and create a world where our members and their end users are working alongside industrial policy rather than having to fight against it. We will work closer with customers and end users. We will drastically increase the engagement between end users and heavily FMCG end users, importantly, so our members use their sensational design skills to produce products and services that fully meet end user requirements. We will work, as we always done, but we will continue to do, with other trade associations and organisations such as the MTC, the MTA and the PMMI, because the voice of the many is obviously louder than the voice of one. And we know from other trade associations that their needs and wants are aligned with ours. Our international partners, new and old, will play a fundamental part in us finding ways for our members to sell to new markets. And then we will look at new technologies and new member categories. There is a whole support network of companies who should become part of our world to play a fundamental part in our industrial strategy and growth. Whilst offering membership to AI companies would be very of the moment, there is also a world of project management houses, systems integrators, and companies in sustainability who, when working collaboratively with us, can create levels of growth and progress seldom seen. Also crucial to what we will do, any collaborative piece of work on technology must and will be matched by a piece of collaborative work on education and training. As with the adoption of automation, Automate UK must be and will be a driving force in getting people into STEM careers and offering the ability for careers growth for anybody in the proximity of our members' technology. What does this mean? It means driving forward a world where the 11-year-old child doing the Factory of the Future STEM Day with PPM Best right now has the network around them to be an apprentice or a sponsored student at a member company or relevant partner in 10 years, and then has the support to be the most incredible innovator and entrepreneur in 20 years. We will use some of the most aggressive and positive communication methods we have ever employed to break the myth that automation takes jobs. As frankly, as we all know, and data shows, it creates jobs, but moreover, it offers massive benefits and careers growth to those who come in contact with our technology. Finally, on training, automation only works if there is an ecosystem of people around it to operate and develop it. Automate UK will be a driving force in making sure there is the correct day-to-day training and education, not only for our members' employees, but also those operating our members' equipment and technology at the end user. So finally, why do we think this move to Automate UK will work? Because all we are doing with this launch this morning is developing on all the feedback that we have had in the last 18 months from our members, partners, customers, and stakeholders. You have written the strategy for Automate UK. It is now for us to show you how we will deliver on it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join us today, either here at the Charterhouse or via our live stream. It is essential that we ensure that our new brand is relevant for all of our stakeholders moving forward, while staying true to our roots. Our new name and logo is very clear in what we stand for, with the word Automate being the common thread between our three associations, PPMA, BARA and UKIVA. Outside of our own sphere of influence, the PPMA group of associations does not explain who we are and how central our members' technology is to the future success of UK manufacturing. By changing our name to Automate UK, we are sending a call to action for manufacturers in the UK to adopt technology to help them grow their businesses. Our new branding includes all three member associations and allows us to tailor our look to suit our messaging. No matter the content, the correct tone, look and feel will be chosen to ensure a joined-up approach is matched with the ability to clearly engage with the correct audience. Relevant colour and brand will accompany all communications with a tailored version of the Automate UK logo representing each association and being used on communications that are specific to that association. As I explained earlier, automation is the common thread between our associations and member companies. Our ongoing message will reinforce that common thread, whilst allowing us to tackle individual issues, challenges and industrial sectors, from food to pharma, processing to vision, events to influence and skills to growth. To sum up, we are confident that Automate UK is a dynamic, vibrant brand that not only ensures our relevance moving forward, but also does not lose sight of our heritage and the great standing of our 3 existing associations. So what can we actually expect from our new brand? To purely change the brand and not take this as an opportunity to transform our approach would be a waste. PPMA, BARA and UKIVA have and will continue to support their members with many fantastic benefits, but the changing of the umbrella group allows for another level of benefit that membership of this wider group, Automate UK, will bring. As such, it is our plan to deliver the following. We will continue to build on the success of our existing exhibitions, the PPMA Show, Automation UK and MVC. Whilst the PPMA Show is the jewel in our crown, both of the latter are relatively new exhibitions created to meet specific demands and aid the growth of BARA and UKIVA members. We expect that Automate UK will bring more opportunity to all of these shows, as well as providing a platform for the creation of new exhibitions to support the needs of our members and wider industry. Whilst on the topic of exhibitions, we look to expand our footprint and influence internationally to support our UK-based members to have a greater impact on export markets. We will listen to our members to identify the markets that they wish to penetrate, and we will support them with presence at trade shows in these markets, as well as looking to provide practical support and guidance on export. To this effect, we have just secured additional space at next year's Gulf Food Manufacturing in Dubai, and due to membership demand, have secured space at the newly launched Saudi Manufacturing in late April next year. The increase in our exhibition presence, both at home and abroad, is a demonstration of how we look to our industry to ensure we meet membership needs. However, it is absolutely essential that Automate UK is so much more than the trade show organisation many assumed the PPMA group of associations to be. As such, we have a number of new initiatives that include the creation of a technical department headed up by a newly appointed Chief Technical Officer. We expect this to get underway in early 2024 and be focused on delivering greater technical training and approved integrator schemes for our robot and vision industries. It will also provide opinion, guidance and influence on regulation that impacts our industries and to be a champion of our members' technologies in wider industry. We will invite individuals from our membership to join a group representing PPMA member companies. This group will sit alongside our UKIVA and BARA committees in providing specific industry sector insight to the PPMA, now Automate UK board. As James alluded to earlier, the doors in the corridors of power have historically not really opened for the PPMA group of associations. From work already undertaken both through market research and from existing lobbying activity, we are highly confident that this will be very different for Automate UK. We will strive to be the voice of our members and work directly with government, think tanks and other policymakers to make that voice heard. One of the ways that we will make this happen is through the UK Automation Forum, launching early next year, that we expect will become an authoritative and influential voice for our industry. We will gather panels of experts, leading industry figures and policymakers to discuss key challenges and topics, such as the sustainability and the impacts of AI, to suggest how we as an industry can help UK manufacturing maintain competitiveness and increase productivity within the ever-changing landscape that they face. We are completely overhauling our website to provide the best possible shop window for our members to attract interest from end users, whilst continuing to be a knowledge and resource hub for all of our stakeholders. When fully developed, this website will support us to greater digitalise our publishing offering, safeguarding it for the future and creating new opportunities for promoting our member products. And finally, we will look to grow our membership across all associations, but in particular BARA and UKIVA, by engaging with the growing number of integration companies that are being founded to meet the increased demand for automation in the UK. All of this is only achieved through having a dedicated and motivated group of individuals working closely with our fantastic members. Thank you to all of the staff at Automate UK for embracing not only the new brand, but the new philosophy. And members, please continue to engage with our staff, board and committees to help us ensure that Automation UK delivers on all of this and more.
Okay, now we have, there is going to be an opportunity for people in the room to ask questions a bit later on, in about maybe 15, 20 minutes or so. So if you have a question, maybe write it down, maybe just get it in your head, because it's a good opportunity if you have something in your mind. But I've got a few questions that I want to ask that I think are quite, some of them are quite obvious, some of them have been answered already, but it's good to go over this stuff again. So we've got James and Peter here. You've explained, both of you, why this change is needed. But what is the single biggest reason for the group of associations changing?
I think from my perspective, the single biggest reason is to make it very, very clear what we stand for. I think the messaging, as James said earlier, was slightly confused. PPMA group of associations, it's not that clear. You know, it doesn't say what we do on the tin. And I think Automate UK very much does that and opens the way for conversations around automation, which is so central and so important to being a part of our future.
To ask the question in a different way, James, if the association didn't change its name, what do you think the next 10 years would look like?
We'd miss so much opportunity for our members. I think we'd miss the mark, put quite simply. I think automation, if you look at it from one of our members who's producing a semi-automatic labeler to somebody who's doing a complete robotics plant for a car factory, there is an opportunity for them to sell more products in more areas that we're probably going to see for the next 5 to 10 years. And then that will be the opportunity, not missed, but the market will be developed. It's very important that we, again, as a trade association, are the simplest and loudest speaker system we can be for our members to take that opportunity. Automate UK very simply says what we do, four-letter acronym doesn't.
The name itself, you've said already that this was feedback, you asked for feedback, and kind of almost in a way the name perhaps suggested itself, but still, I mean, it's one word.
Yeah.
Why choose that one word?
I think from my perspective, it's a call to action. I think UK manufacturing, we lag so far behind the rest of the world when it comes to automation and the adoption of it. It's so important for us to maintain competitiveness moving forward that automation is adopted throughout UK manufacturing. And from our perspective, Automate UK really is a call to action that UK manufacturing needs to automate more.
What would you add on that, James?
It's just obvious. We automate. Every single member automates. Every single member and every single member's employee, I'm sure, has sent an email or said on a phone call in the last 2-3 weeks that they automate. And so it covers all the membership, and as Peter says, it's what we do, and it's the easiest call.
What about the PPMA, BARA and UKIVA? How actually will this affect them? Will they still exist?
Yeah, so absolutely, they exist as three individual associations representing specific industry sectors under the wider umbrella of Automate UK. They're long-standing brands, they carry a lot of weight, and we absolutely want to continue to put them front and centre, but it makes so much more sense for them to belong to Automate UK than the PPMA group of associations. James,
there'll be people from within those organisations who understandably be a little bit wobbly about it.
Yeah, no, I get that. And obviously I'm a non-exec director, so I'm also a member as well, and I'm a very traditional PPMA member. I'm not very UKIVA, I'm not very BARA. And one of the reasons why I'm behind this is because if you look, the level of innovation that's going on in processing equipment and in packaging machinery, I haven't seen in the 20 years I've been doing this. So I wanted to, as part of this, very much make PPMA its own specialist area so that we can have events. We've got this new panel, we're going to run focus groups that make sure that we can really represent processing and packaging machinery members in a very much focused way in new ways. So it's very much this opportunity is that PPMA members are very much now their own silo, and we can do new events, new focus groups, and really target their needs as well.
What about the PPMA show? How will that change?
But quite frankly, it won't. The PPMA show is the jewel in the crown, as I mentioned earlier. It's absolutely central to everything we do. It's a long-standing, successful show with a great reputation, and there is absolutely no intention in the short, medium, or long term to do anything with that other than continue to support it and help it thrive.
And what about Automation UK and MVC?
Well, I mean, they've been a huge success with the first run we've done in June. We've got the second run of those June next year. We will look to organically grow them. What does organically grow look like? It looks like Automation UK Year 2 is going to be double the size of Automation UK Year 1. And it looks like MVC is also going to be pushing up against the walls on how much space we're going to sell there. So they're going to organically grow. But you've got to remember as well is that we have 3 at the moment, PPMA Show, MVC and Automation UK. Don't think that we won't go past 3. I'm not promising anything, but my point is that we again, with this more focused area, if there's needs and wants either geographically or product-wise for us to do more events and shows, we will look at it and we will do it.
What's going to change then? And I mean, obviously this is the change, this is the new name. What will people notice today or tomorrow, and when exactly is it changing?
So, as of now, the new website is live. There's still areas of the website that will be continue to be developed moving forward to make it much more effective, not just for being a source of knowledge for end users and wider industry, but actually being a really good shop window for our members to promote their products and to sell that moving forward. Email addresses have changed, branding's changed, and signage will be changing on the building soon. But other than that, continue to communicate and work and deal with us as you were before.
And what about membership? How does it change that?
Well, it doesn't. You know, we're very proud to have we had 586 members at 9:59. We have 586 members of Automate UK at 10:30, whatever it is. What it does is that I hope for the existing members, we give them more stuff to try to do. We continue to get better. And as I say, there's a whole support network. I think it's very clear we're not trying to get new membership in a new category. We're trying to get new membership that supports the existing membership to support itself, to support the end users. Automate UK with things like robotic systems integrators, project management houses, we can now give an offering so we can bring them into the ecosystem. So, you know, Automate UK needs to be the one-stop shop if you want to build a factory and fit it out of any kind. We're not quite there at the moment. We do like the main spine and quite a few of the vertebrae. What we can start to do is bring in other membership and start really building up a real kind of technical skeleton that means that Automate UK can fit out the complete factory.
This has kind of already been covered, but I'm sure it's something that's in people's minds, and that is, as members, will they still receive information that is relevant to their particular area?
Absolutely. So, as an existing member, you will immediately become a member of Automate UK and gain all the additional benefits that we hope that will bring. But you will continue to be a primary member of each individual association within that group. So if you were a BARA member before, you remain being a primary BARA member. And the communications that will come out from Automate UK will be tailored to meet the demands of those individual specific industries, as well as adding the additional benefits of being part of that wider group.
What are the concerns that you anticipate? Because whenever there's change, there'll be people embrace these things in different ways. So what are the concerns that either of you might anticipate?
That everybody hates it. That's quite a big one. I very much felt that at 5:15 this morning. No, I mean, you know, we have to, just sitting here in 35 minutes, in here and on YouTube, isn't going to prove it. We've now got to prove it. So I think it's about, you know, stick with us. I hope this is a good, you know, this is a very good thing. I hope that's felt. Just watch what we've got planned for the next 12 weeks, 12 months, 12 years, and how we really, you know, I suppose there's always been this line, I used it, what has the PPMA ever done for us? And we do a lot, but just wait till you see what Automate can do, not just in terms of the exhibitions, the training, but just what we can do to try and get you guys the industry and the environment to operate in, you know, that suits your needs and works with you. As I say, let's see if we can get some form of industrial policy that we've never really had in our world, where you have an industrial policy for this country that works alongside the membership and their end users, rather than having to constantly fight it.
Peter, do you anticipate any slightly smaller problems than the ones that James
No.
outlined.
Honestly, I hope not. I don't think so. I think the positive of what we're trying to achieve moving forward should outweigh the negative of any emotional attachment that there might be to some of the old brands. I think it's a risk that we have to be prepared to take. Being bold and being what the majority of our membership need for the future is the way that we have to go. And we sincerely hope that everyone comes along, with us for the ride.
Is there anything that anyone sitting here or watching online needs to do now?
Honestly, no. Just keep communicating with us the way that you have done before. Everything will automatically be forward, sent across, etc. We'll be in touch so that they can put, hopefully, what is a exciting, dynamic new brand on their website and be proud to become part of the membership of the Automate UK. But beyond that, no, just keep engaging with us as you have before.
And who do people direct their questions to? Presumably,
Peter.
I was going to say presumably both of you, but
I'll take all the nice ones. Yeah.
Okay, that's how it works, isn't it? Yeah.
we'll ask we'll get some questions from the audience in a moment. But let's focus on the positives then. If we look, we talked about 1987 and how this all kind of started. If we go forward, let's just say another 10 years, where would both of you like to see Automate UK be?
I think from my perspective, I'd like to see us really become much, much more relevant within wider policy making, actually have a real inroad into what's happening within UK manufacturing and the input that government legislation has on that, and really be a sort of leading light and a guiding force for our membership on that side. I'd like to think more than that we really still continue to help our members sell a lot of product to a lot of end users. And I think ultimately in 10 years' time, if we're doing that, that's the thing that will make the members the most happy.
James, 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, make sure our members sell more stuff. Obviously, that is priority number one. I think there's a community aspect to this that I think we have to work through. I mentioned it in my speech, is what I'd like to see in 10 years is that we've joined up some of the dots, because actually our end users, our members, political parties, think tanks, universities, they all want the same thing, especially when it comes to STEM careers, if you take that as an example. I think I'd like, Automate UK, I'd like it to be the place that there's more relevant automation being sold into the UK that's never been before, but it is really playing its part in getting more people into technical careers, technical education and careers. Join that up. Bizarrely, we have the best apprenticeship schemes that this country's had in 20, 30 years. We have T-levels, we have some great new things, but nobody's joining the dots up to make it happen. So I think so that's why I'd really like to see Automate UK go away from selling more technology, is actually selling the industry to get talent into it.
Okay. James, you're going to round up this section, and then we're going to get some questions.
Yeah, I think just quickly for me, there's a personal thank you, and then I'll do a more generic one. We have one director who's not here today, Steve Jones, who's our marketing director, who's in Japan, which either he's there on business or he's hiding, we don't quite know. But Steve has been the real driving force for this, so I just want to say a real personal thanks to Steve. His analytical ability and drive. We only started this in February. Is that right? And we only started doing it properly in May. And Steve's been fundamental to that, so it's a shame he can't be here. So I just want to extend a thank you to him, and I look forward to saying thank you to him in person before Christmas. The big thank you, before we move on to the next section, is to the membership in many different ways. The loyalty you show, not just to when we get a Hall 5 at the NEC, but when we try new training, when we try new events, we try something new, and more importantly, how you give us such good feedback is so important. It's why we've done this morning with some confidence. You're not afraid to tell us when we're good, but you're also not afraid to challenge us constructively, and thank you so much for that, because that means we have something to work with to go the next year of Automate UK, and please, please keep it up.